Okay, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Just a very quick one for you. I've just had a request on the comments page from my mate Buck in Texas. Now Buck, right mate, I hope you're watching. This is for you. Buck asked me a question. How do you change out the fork oil on your Harley Sportster? He's got a 2006 Sportster R, which is the same forks as Penny Pit Stop Sportster here. So I'm going to show you, mate. Pay attention. I'll show you what you do. Come on in. Right. The first job is to get the bike stead upright. Set it on a ramp or something with the wheels on the ground, or you can just use it, get someone to sit on it. And down here is a little bleed screw. This is the screw to drain out the fork oil. So what you do, you take a big old screwdriver, put it in the back of that screw there, and just remove it. It's as simple as that. Now the trick is, obviously the dealer or the book, the manual, you should have a manual. The manual will give you a quantity that you should put in, but obviously you're not going to want to put more oil in than is already in there. So don't put more oil in it than is currently drained out. So when you drain the oil out, you put that much back in. So you need a measuring jug, and you get yourself a little bowl or something, and when you drain that oil out, make sure it doesn't go all over your tyre, because that would be a bit daft, and make sure that the oil just pumps out. And to get it out, all you do is pump forks up and down. So get the person sitting on the bike to hold the front brake on, and then pump the forks up and down. Just pump the front of the bike up and down, and the oil will just squirt out like a milking cow. Simple as that. When no more oil comes out and it's just gurgling, it's just sucking air in and out, that's done. Then put the screw back in. There's a little copper washer on it. You come in close, I'll show you. If you look there behind the screw, there's a little copper washer. Don't lose that, make sure it goes back in, and just put a little tiny dab of grease on it and wind it in. Don't wind it in so tight you snap it, because that's a real world of hurt to get out. So just nip that back in and wipe it nice and dry so there's nothing on there. Then you get the oil that came out and you put it into your measuring jug and you measure the quantity. So you've got a known quantity of oil. That's how much has come out. In much, all that's in there is probably, I can't guess at the amount, but I would imagine it's less than you put in a teacup. It's a very small amount of oil, but that amount of oil that comes out, that's the amount of oil you put back in. It's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Okay, to get the new oil in, it's ever so simple. All you do, up the top here, this is where you need to get the bike up off the ground. You need to get the forks fully extended so there's no weight on the bike at all. And you need to take this cap off here. Now there's a couple of ways to take this cap off. First of all, it's an 1 3/8" bolt, effectively. It's a big metal screw cap. And you need to get an 1 3/8" spanner, which I think is 34mm in European, and just unwind that bolt. It's a big old spanner, so get that off. You might take this off. If it was me and I was doing it, I'll take these two bolts off here and here, take off this cap, and the headlamp comes away and gives you access, and you can wind that big bolt. So get that bolt out, and remember there's a spring there, so don't do it with the weight pressing on the front wheel. Get the wheel off the ground. Once the wheel's off the ground, the spring is extended and it's not pushing, but that spring will still pop up. So put a cloth or a rag over the top, let it come up under control. When you get it up, you've got access, and you get a little funnel in the top, and that fork oil quantity, get the same quantity of brand new fork oil and pour it in the top. So you refill it with fork oil, and then you put the cap back on. Now you may have to fiddle about. It may be that it's quite possible that you can't get that back on easily. So when you've got the fork leg and you're trying to get this bolt or this big cap back in, the spring's sticking up and you have to press and twist. It's a little bit jiggly. There's no easy solution to it. It's just be careful, because if that slips, that big old bolt or the spanner, it can smack you in the face. So be careful, watch what you do. Get it wound back in, tighten that back down. You don't need to torque it up, just tighten it up. So check down the bottom, pump the forks up and down, and all the air will burble up to the top and the oil will end up at the bottom where it needs to be. And then you'll find there's any little weepage at the bottom. Wipe it off and then nip that up a bit tighter. Don't nip that up too tight. If it's a little bit loose and it weeps, just nip it up a bit more. It's better to nip it up too loose and just tighten it than it is to have it too tight and snap it off. Okay, so in summary, ever so quick, take the screw out, pump forks up and down, squirt the oil out, measure the amount, come up the top, take the cap off, and with a funnel, pour the new oil of the same quantity straight in the top. And then put the cap back on, do it up, do everything back up, then do the other side. That's it. It is as simple as that, changing fork oil. It has to be done periodically. The reason you know you've got to do it is because changing fork oil has to be done, I think it's every 2 years or possibly even every 4 years. But fork oil must be changed because it's a hydraulic oil and it does deteriorate over time. So it's good to change it because it keeps the bike handling correctly. That pretty much is it. I hope that's what you asked for, Buck. Nice to have your question, buddy. Thanks ever so much for asking. That's in Delboy's Garage. Take it easy, ride safe. See you next time.